Hey, this is Mark Gomes. Going to talk about something different today. I'm usually talking about stocks or track and field, but this past weekend I attended the Deontay Wilder Gerald Washington fight in Alabama, which became the source of some great controversy when Dominic Breazeale got involved in an altercation with Deontay's little brother Marcelos, and ultimately a skirmish ended up breaking out in a hotel later on. Um, I have already posted some articles on my site, pipelinedatallc.com, presenting all of the facts that I've gathered. This was my first heavyweight championship fight, so I was first of all very excited to be, ringside to see all the fights. The fight with Dominique Breazeale was actually really exciting. His family was sitting in the second row, a few seats down from me. And seeing the wife and kids there, that made me want to root for Breazeale, who I'd never seen him fight before. So it was exciting to see him win. And I actually saluted the man when he came and joined his family before Wilder's fight. Now, that notwithstanding, I was also rooting for the champ to win, and he did, and that was very exciting as well. So it was great to see some great fights that night. And then unfortunate to see two of the guys I was rooting for get into a scrap. So that really kind of got me interested in finding out what really happened, because I was at the fights, I was at the hotel from before everything started until after it ended. And so it's kind of interesting to see how this is played out with the media, articles, and social media, and how people are reacting and thinking about the situation, because there are two sides of the story, and many people are deciding which side of the story they want to take. It seems to me like a lot of people aren't actually looking at facts, and that's what I've done my entire career as a stock analyst and the CEO of Pipeline Data. That's how I made my millions, is investigating facts when it comes to the stock market. So let's dive into the facts of this real quick. First of all, we got a lot of video and eyewitness evidence that's been pouring onto the internet, and that confirms everything that I said on Monday morning in this article right here, that you can look at on my website. You can see there's a picture of my tickets. There's me with Larry Holmes at the fight. Very exciting times for me. This man right here, Larry Holmes, was the champ when I was a kid, and Evander was the champ when I was during my college days. So it was a great night all around. But as far as this incident goes, you can look at the evidence that I presented in this article, and my eyewitness account of what happened. Now, I wrote this before I saw all of the video evidence, so it's interesting for me to go back and read this after seeing the video evidence and seeing, if my recollection matches up with what I can see in video. I'm actually in some of the videos as a bystander, of course. So, first of all, if you look at some of the video evidence out there, and I'll provide you with some of the links here and maybe take you through a little bit of the footage. Breazeale's wife was there, but she was not even really a part of the whole thing. She was definitely not attacked or even spoken to. I was next to her at one point. I can see her in a video shouting into the crowd, but nobody's shouting back at her. Nobody's paying her any mind. So, she was definitely not attacked. So, it says here that Deontay Wilder and a mob of 20 people unprovokedly attacked his team and his family. So that's false, first of all. It's very clear that the wife wasn't attacked, and the kids weren't even there, to my knowledge, and thank God for that. That would be very irresponsible for the man to go into the lobby of a hotel waiting for Wilder, knowing that there'd be a confrontation, to have his children there. So I don't know why he'd even say that. But in any case, that first fact is false. Let's take a look at the next fact here. He says a mob of 20 people were involved. Look, I can see how he could say that, because there were definitely 20 people. If you look here on the scene, thing is, if you look at various videos out there to see who was actually involved and who was a bystander, it's pretty clear that, yep, there's about 20 people there, but most of them are bystanders. I indicated the bystanders with the white dots in the various videos that I've looked at. People who didn't have really anything to do with what was going on and appeared to stay neutral throughout the entire incident in various videos. In blue, Deontay Wilder's back here. There's another gentleman here that I dot with blue, and this is Marcelos Wilder, Deontay's little brother, who was involved in the skirmish, of course. Those are the only people that I could identify in any videos that are definitively on Wilder's back, on his team there. Meanwhile, you can see a team Breazeale jacket and hat here and here. That's Breazeale right there. And then this gentleman here, I don't know who he is, but you could see him in several videos, clearly on the opposite side of the Wilder fence. So I'm assuming he was on Breazeale's side. I'd say he could be hotel security, but not with that jacket for sure. There's a few other people that look like they might have been hotel security looking to break things up. But, as you can see here, at the very least, it's an even matchup. And in this video, at least, I can identify a 4-on-3 situation with Breazeale favored there. Okay, so we'll go to some video evidence in a second here. The final thing, he says, Dominique Breazeale says that his coach and him were blindsided by sucker punches, and his team was assaulted in front of his wife and kids. Again, the kids weren't there, but let's see about the assault part of this and who was assaulted. Well, I'll go to the video in a sec, but just to go over what I've written here, you can see in the video, you'll see that Breazeale and Wilder are beefing face to face. They're talking. It's heated, but there's no physical contact going on. It's just two men talking until Wilder gets grabbed at the 32-second mark, and that's what I'm going to show you in a second. You can hear him say, "Don't touch me." Okay, and then at the 47-second mark, you're going to see a hand come from behind, grab Wilder, and pull him back, just like I described in my last article. And then a second later, you see an overhand punch come from Breazeale's side, not Breazeale, but somebody on Breazeale's side, towards where Wilder is being held. Okay, and then after that, you'll notice, things get a little crazy, but nobody jumps in. Nobody jumps on Breazeale. Nobody jumps on Breazeale's people. At this point, you'll see more people gathering, including some of Tony Harrison's people. You see the Harrison jacket. He was one of the fighters on the undercard. But there's no, increasing mob on Wilder's side. So let's go to that here. I'll actually back it up to where Wilder gets grabbed, and hopefully we'll be able to hear him say, "Don't touch me." If not, you can go and check out this video yourself on YouTube. Okay, so here we go. And it looks like his brother's trying to talk them into chilling out. There, somebody grabs Deontay, and there is the overhand fist that comes in. All right, so very clear evidence there of what happened as far as that goes. And then, so what happened? So obviously, this is the attack clearly, to me, started from Breazeale's people. And then after that, still Breazeale isn't really involved yet. I don't see Breazeale showing any hostility at this point from a physical standpoint. But at the 102 mark of another YouTube video, and the 112 mark of this video. So let's move ahead. Okay, you're gonna see right here. There's Deontay's brother, and Dominic's right there, and you're gonna see Breazeale in a few seconds punch. His fist is gonna come from here and punch Marcellus Wilder on the left side of his face. Right about now. Boom. Okay. So, and there's another video here. We're at the same spot roughly. I'm going to blow this up so it's easier to see. And here we go. And he goes near Breazeale and boom. Again. Pops him. Okay. So, you know, look, you can take a look at the evidence yourself. You can believe what you want, but the facts are there. I was rooting for both men in their fights. It was unfortunate to see them get into it with one another, and I was curious to know who was at fault here. But it's very clear from what I saw. Now, the reason, as I write here, remains a mystery why all this started. But there might be some clues from Wilder's press conference. And, at the 8-minute mark, and I'm going to go to that now, you can see that the champ talks about unifying the belts. In other words, fighting the other champions that are out there right now with the other heavyweight belts. Runs a little counter to what some people have been saying. They've been saying he's been ducking the competition, but he's clearly been the cheerleader of making this an ultimate competition, basically a 4-man playoff for the heavyweight belt, which I would love to see. This would be a much greater spectacle, in my opinion, than what we've seen in recent years, including the Pacquiao fight with Mayweather. So let's check it out real quick.
That's why I want that. It feels important. And, I'm a gentleman. Like I said, I don't mean to be disrespectful to nobody, especially outside of the ring. They know about that. That don't how you get fights. The fighters nowadays think that to get a fight, you got to rough talk or rough them up or giving your praise and stuff like that. Why not just be two gentlemen?
He's clearly talking about Breazeale here and the incident that took place in the arena before this press conference. So he goes on to talk about how Gerald Washington was a gentleman in his negotiations with, and that's why he gave Washington his shot. And he continues to talk about unifying the belts there. You can go and check out this YouTube video in its entirety if you want to get that full message. But I want to move along and keep this focused on the incident with Breazeale. And so from that standpoint, if we move ahead to the 14-minute mark, you can see that he gets questioned about this.
Why put another crossover on a road already filled with them?
Okay. There we go.
So I give all credit to Deontay for seeing it and executing it at the right time, because there has to be a right time or it won't be effective. But that's what it was. We just kind of zeroed in on.
So I think the next question is regarding Breazeale here.
Did you get a chance to see any of that?
There we go.
Heavyweight fight, Breazeale?
I did. I think it was a very exciting fight. I think that was Izu. Yeah, I think that because it was his American debut.
Now, so I'll spare you the rest of this. You can go and check it out yourself again. But he turns the question into a discussion about Izu and his strategy in the fight, and basically says, Izu dominated the fight. I was there. Dominique was getting killed by Izu, and whether it's by strategy or not, eventually Izu kind of wore out and has a reputation for having a glass jaw, and and Breazeale has a big punch, and he landed a couple of big punches and took his man out, much to his credit. So there was that, and then we have this part right here to wrap it up with regard to what he thinks about Breazeale's actions in the arena. In both cases, it seems like he's not paying Breazeale any mind and doesn't have any interest in setting up a match with him. For those who kind of think that might be the backstory behind this altercation to get some public publicity out there about those two fighting, doesn't seem like that from what he says here.
I think he wasted a lot of energy that he didn't need to waste, and for that reason, that was the outcome.
All right, after your fight, you were mad at Breazeale. What was your issue with him?
Well, the thing about, I'm a very respectful person. And when you come to my home, you're going to respect me as well, too. We had an altercation with my little brother, and you don't mess with my little brother. If you have a problem, come to me, and we can handle it and deal with it accordingly. So with that, I got a problem with him. It ain't no problem that I want to see him in the ring. So I'll see him.
So there you go. He doesn't want to see him in the ring is exactly what he says. Whether that's showmanship or not, we'll see. But everything that he's said that I have found in his past has gone in lockstep with the reality. He talks about wanting to fight Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker was there. There's a video, actually, you see Deontay Wilder versus Joseph Parker meet. So there's proof that Joseph Parker was there. Joseph Parker talking about a mega fight with Deontay Wilder. That's the direction this seems to be going in. So I can only conclude at this point, and this is just an opinion. I've presented a lot of facts, and that's the most important thing. And the facts are piling up against Breazeale. Now, why Breazeale did what he did is a matter of opinion. There's no facts there. But to me, if I'm piecing it all together, it looks like Breazeale sees the writing on the wall and sees that he's going to get shut out of any other title opportunities with all of the belt holders getting ready to go against each other, which could take the better part of the next couple of years. Deontay Wilder and Joseph Parker both have to do mandatory defenses in the coming months, which means they probably won't fight each other until later this year, which means that it won't be until next year that we actually see a unification fight. So, maybe this was Breazeale's way of getting a little bit of publicity. You can't fault the man for doing that. He's got a wife and 2 kids. You want to optimize your career as much as possible. I can't agree with the way he did this if that was his plan, because you just don't mess with somebody's family. Deontay seems to appreciate a man-to-man approach to the business. If you want to fight with him, come to me and talk about it. That's not what happened here. So, I'm inclined to believe Deontay Wilder's side of the equation, not only because that seems to be the case, but because the facts are there, the video evidence is there, and hopefully this helps you to understand the situation a little bit better from an eyewitness perspective. Okay, that's it for me. Take care.